Welcome back to this week's video. My name is Drea and I'm going to help you get better at CrossFit. Today we are going to talk about toes to bar and I'm going to help you improve your skills so that you can string them together. Before we get into the meat of the video, I want to show you what an actual rep looks like, both the scaled version and the RX version. So we have the RX, which is also called the prescribed version, called the toes to bar, and that's going to be bringing your toes all the way up to the bar. Or you can do the scaled version or modified version, which is the knees to elbows, and that's gonna look like this. Same idea, same concept, but you're just bringing your knees to your elbows, and it's great for people who aren't very flexible yet. So now that you know what the movement is and what it looks like, I wanna show you what it takes for the rep to actually count. So I'm gonna show you in slow motion. This is gonna be the toes to bar version first. The idea is to make sure that when you bring your toes up to the bar, like this, you come back and rebound with your feet behind the rig. You can hit anywhere on your foot from the tip of your toe up to your ankle in order for it to count, but your feet have to touch the bar. And then when it comes to the knees to elbows, or the scaled version, modified version, same idea. You want to bring your knees up to your elbows and your feet have to rebound back behind the rig again. If your feet don't go behind the rig, or your knees don't touch your elbow, or your feet don't touch the pull-up bar, the rep isn't going to count. Before you jump on the bar, you're going to want to protect your hands. So I put together some of my favorite items that I use to protect my thumbs and my palms. I personally use these finger hole grips because I like the way that my hand feels when I'm gripping the bar. But a lot of the professional athletes you'll see using the fingerless grips, and that is for a different type of grip, which I'll show you on the bar as well. But the most important thing that I use for toes to bar is my thumb tape. My thumbs tear the most when I do toes to bar. So I got this really sticky thumb tape. It's kind of like your medical tape, but you just wrap it around your finger, your thumb, whatever you need to wrap, tear it off. That's the nice part about this stuff. They also make thumb sleeves. I use a thumb sleeve. I want to say they're called nubs. Now we're going to talk about the grip. There's two different grips that you can have on the pull-up bar. One being the overhand grip, which you'll see a lot of professional athletes use, and then the other grip is wrapping your thumbs, which is what they highly recommend for brand new athletes, or even intermediate to advanced athletes will use it. I like to wrap my thumb. I feel way more secure on the bar. So I'm going to show you that grip first, and that is simply just gripping the bar and wrapping your thumbs around the bottom of it. And then the other grip is the overhand grip, just like this. The overhand grip is great for people who are using the fingerless grips. I am wearing the finger hole grip, so I prefer to wrap my thumbs around and get more secure on the bar. Once you establish a good grip, it is time to start working on your kip. So what I want you to do is grab a box. I'm going to do this in kind of a slow motion so that you can see and feel the whole movement, but one leg on the box. Get your good grip. You can do either or, whatever's most comfortable for you. And I want you to practice your hollow position and your arch position. Hollow, arch. And if you are a beginner or intermediate athlete, you basically already know this. So I want you to get on your box and just start swinging back and forth and bringing your foot up higher each time you pull down on your lats until you get all the way up to the bar. Now you know the motion, but what you want to feel in your arms is pulling down, almost like you're trying to shut your car door or your trunk of your car. Most people don't shut the trunk of their car like this. They shut it down like this and kind of bring their butt out of the way so you don't hit yourself. That's one really good cue to help yourself pull down on the bar. And then again, when it comes to the scaled or modified version, do the same thing. Get back on the bar, start slow, do your little kips, and then start bringing your knee up until you get your knee to your elbow. So this next part is going to help you with your rebound. I want you to grab a little band, probably a pretty light one, wrap it around a J hook and make sure that your J hook is going the opposite direction so it doesn't pull towards you. Go all the way to the next one. And I like to go on the big side of the rig. Don't go where you're lifting, go in between them where it's more space. But you want the band to be like right on your ankles or your calf. That way, when you jump up to the bar and you start your kipping, you can feel your feet bouncing off the band, which is a really good cue for bringing your feet back forward again. This is also something to keep in mind. When you are kipping, it's important for your body to stay in line with the rig, but half of your body is going to be in front of the bar and the other half is going to be behind the bar. So when my head is forward like this, my feet are behind the bar or behind the rig, and vice versa. So when I come forward, my head is behind the rig and my feet are in front of it. If you find yourself struggling with a band down at the bottom of the rig, you can move the band and put it about waist high. This is gonna help give you a little bit different feedback when you're on the rig. This can kind of help you make sure that your midline is staying in line with the rig. So same kind of idea. You want to bounce your back off of the band. One more thing I wanted to touch on that we did talk a little bit about earlier is starting with really small kips. Earlier I was on the box, I had one leg on the box and I was showing you how to kip and get your leg higher and higher each time. So we're gonna do that again, but this time off the box. When you start your toes to bar, you're gonna stand just behind the rig. You don't wanna be like directly under the bar, but just behind the rig. Hands about shoulder width apart. Keep your eyes on the bar and start with small kips. Pushing down on the bar like you're trying to close your trunk lid. Kick higher and higher until you get your feet all the way up to the bar. You're gonna do the same thing with a scaled or modified version. Just start with a small kip, bringing your knees up, and just get a little bit higher and higher each time. The biggest takeaway from this video is having the cue of pulling the trunk lid down. I think that that's a really good cue to get people to prevent the swing that they tend to get with the first time doing a toes to bar. I'm gonna try to do it. It's really hard to go backwards, but a lot of times when people start their toes to bar, they get up there and they wanna bring their toes up, but they're already swinging like this. So you come forward and then they try to bring their feet up and then they're swinging all over the place trying to get their feet. So to counteract that swing, when you jump up, you wanna make sure that you're jumping into almost a perfect hollow. Not quite an L-sit, but like that perfect hollow where your feet are forward. And then you can go into your kip and slam your trunk down. So slam. Slam. Does that even make sense? Okay. If you made it to the end of the video, I appreciate you being here. If there's anything else that you would like to see, please leave it down in the comments below and I will catch you on the next one.